Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to completely dismantle modern hustle culture and, more importantly, show you how to transition into a state of highly strategic action. I mean, we live in a world that constantly tells us to just grind, right? Work longer hours, never sleep if you want to succeed. But what if all that frantic activity is actually holding you back? Today, we're pulling some absolutely incredible insights from academic research, financial data, and proven productivity frameworks to show you the ultimate paradigm shift. To kick things off, the Meaningful Returns blog hits us with a pretty bold reality check. Hustle is not a virtue. Honestly, hustling outside the context of a genuinely virtuous, useful activity is just window dressing. At its worst, it's actually detrimental to your goals. It's incredibly easy to trick ourselves into thinking that, hey, if I'm busy, I must be making progress. But when we rush around reacting to every single email and saying yes to every random meeting, we're mostly just hiding. We use that flurry of activity to distract ourselves from the truly valuable, difficult work that actually moves the needle.
And that brings us to a really dangerous trap known as hustling backwards. Basically, this is when you operate from a position of, well, only when I have it will I do it. You wait until you have the massive business to finally do the things a massive business actually does. Or maybe you spend all your time doing low-level pre-sales without ever sitting down to build the actual product. Waiting to have the billion-dollar company before acting like it is just motion without meaning. And it absolutely guarantees that you stay stuck.
Ron's insights outline the ultimate pitfalls of this pure hustle phase. This is where our egos and a desperate need for attention completely sabotage our ultimate goals. You see, the modern hustler often operates out of a poverty mentality, letting short-sightedness and impulsive reactions dictate their entire day. When your choices are ego-driven, you're not building a sustainable business. You're really just putting on a performance for an audience. To truly succeed, we have to shed this losing mindset and start moving with real intention.
Just consider the sheer energy waste of blind hustle for a second. It takes exactly 23 minutes to fully recover your focus after just one single interruption. 23 minutes. That's the length of an entire sitcom episode. So if you're constantly context switching, answering every Slack message, and reacting to every ping because you think that's what a hustler is supposed to do, your cognitive load is totally maxed out. You are literally bleeding focus.
Furthermore, the data shows that simply avoiding basic financial literacy literally costs you nearly $10,000, $9,724 to be exact, over your lifetime in fees and losses. This staggering figure proves that you absolutely cannot just outwork a bad strategy. If you hustle blindly without understanding fundamental concepts like managing a budget, tracking investments, or avoiding bad debt, all your hard work is just leaking straight out of your bank account. Financial ignorance is incredibly expensive, and sheer effort simply cannot plug that hole. Section 1. Strategy and Opportunity Cost. The reality of effort versus return. You really have to start treating your daily efforts exactly like financial investments. As Serena Vasegi points out, work should be thought about like stock investing. You continuously chip away at your goals, absolutely, but you ruthlessly direct your resources where they have the absolute best chance to flourish. Just like the stock market, some investments pay off and some go south. Pouring all your precious time and energy into an enterprise that is never going to grow, that's just demoralizing. You need to analyze the chances of success and invest your time with the exact same care you'd use to invest your money. To back this up, let's look at an academic working paper from the Indian School of Business. This research fundamentally changes how we measure success and failure in startups. Usually, the business world treats simple survival as a success, right? But this research introduces the harsh reality of opportunity cost. Highly capable entrepreneurs don't just want to survive and linger indefinitely. No, they want to realize massive upside potential, and they want to do it fast. Notice the stark contrast here between these two mindsets. The high opportunity cost entrepreneur is highly aggressive. They actually prefer a shorter time to success, even if that means risking a much faster failure. And why is that? Because their time is highly valuable. If the venture isn't going to work, they want to flame out quickly so they can pivot to the next big thing. In contrast, the low opportunity cost entrepreneur lacks that strategy. They just linger on as a zombie company, merely surviving day to day just to avoid the sting of failure. Now, while the underlying mathematical model for this might look a bit complex, the core concept is brilliant. Increasing your strategic investment rate simply compresses the timeline. Think of it kind of like your burn rate. By aggressively investing your time, your focus, and your capital, you aren't necessarily changing the fundamental quality of the idea, but you are forcing the uncertainty to resolve.
You are fast-tracking your way to either a massive cash out or a definitive flame out rather than just letting your business slowly, painfully bleed out. Section 2. Frameworks for smart work. Upgrading from hustle to execution.
This level of execution starts at the absolute foundation with David Allen's Getting Things Done framework. Look, your brain is a terrible storage device. This process works by entirely eliminating your mental overhead, turning a chaotic mind into a highly trusted external system. By strictly following these 5 steps, capturing every single task, clarifying what it is, organizing it by context, doing a weekly reflection, and then finally engaging with a clear mind, you completely remove the stress of trying to remember what you should be doing. And once you've captured those tasks, the Eisenhower matrix forces you to prioritize what actually moves the needle. Quadrant 1 represents the actual critical deadlines, the urgent and important fires you just have to put out first. But far too often, hustlers get totally stuck in Quadrant 4, confusing busy work and endless social media scrolling with actual productivity. If a task is neither urgent nor important, you have to ruthlessly eliminate it. Just get rid of it. By combining these tactical frameworks, you build an absolute fortress around your attention. Eating the frog doesn't mean changing your diet, by the way. It means tackling your absolute hardest task first thing in the morning when your willpower is at its highest. From there, you protect blocks of time for deep work. And for the tedious administrative stuff, use the Pomodoro timer to force 25 minutes of intense focus. Critically, use Kanban boards to strictly enforce your work-in-progress limits so you never, ever fall back into the trap of multitasking.
Section 3. Entering the alignment phase, the highest evolution of work.
So, the hustle phase relies heavily on the rigid, controlling structure of masculine energy. But true business alignment requires us to embrace the intuitive, trusting flow of feminine energy. As entrepreneur Lydia Kerzarovska points out, building discipline and structure during the hustle phase is a totally necessary stepping stone. It makes you humble, it makes you capable. But if you stay stuck in that highly competitive, controlling energy forever, you're going to hit a hard ceiling. To reach your absolute peak, you must balance it out by tuning into your intuition, getting creative, and deeply trusting the very systems you've built. Ultimately, when you stop frantically trying to control every single outcome, you stop resisting your own potential. The hustle phase is all about making things happen through sheer force, but the alignment phase, that's about letting go of the exact how. When you're obsessed with controlling every micro detail, you accidentally close yourself off from unexpected collaborations, brilliant new ideas, and often much faster routes to success. You have to step back and actually allow massive growth and abundance to flow. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final vital question to fundamentally challenge how you operate from this day forward. Are you building a strategic legacy, or are you just hustling backwards? Remember, hard work is absolutely necessary, but it has to be married to a crystal clear strategy. Protect your focus, know your opportunity costs, and align your energy. The grind is optional, the strategy is mandatory.